Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, my friends. I'm very excited today. We got footage of Illaoi in 2XKO. Illaoi been in the news a little bit lately because in the new playable build of 2XKO that'll be at Evo Japan, she is the new character that will be playable there. And, well, she'll be finished and completed, which is sort of, I guess, the purpose of the video, because last year, when I was at Riot headquarters and had the trip and got hands-on with 2XKO, Project L back then, it was fantastic, and we got to play the game, got to see the characters that you've seen, and Illaoi was there as well, but she was not quite finished. Things like this eye-catching, very literally, super, were not at all in the build I played. So I'm excited just to see a much more complete version of the character. I've mentioned it before, but of the currently announced characters, she's far and away my favorite. And I know I'm just playing into the stereotype of myself. Of course, rooflemonger likes the big muscle character. Yeah, I know. But still, I can't help it. Illaoi is sick. If you don't know much about the character from League of Legends, consider her like a cleric. And she's a self-help cleric. Although her self-help deity is an alternative version of Cthulhu named Nagakaboros. And Nagakaboros is a self-help, wants to make you the best you can be version of Cthulhu. Now, you might die making yourself better, but hey, progress has to be made at some point, right? But yeah, we're just gonna rewind a little bit here, and just want to focus on certain bits of the trailer that I find are interesting aspects of the character, or things that I've never seen before, because there's quite a bit going on. It's a unique position for me. I've never been in a position where I've seen an unfinished character than the finished version, and quite a few changes have been made along the way. So one of the biggest changes I noticed in this trailer compared to what I've seen before last year is graphically, because she wasn't finished yet, right? Not even just the moveset, that too, but things like the tentacles planted on the ground, they're much more impressive this time around. And certain little small visual cues as well. Like Illaoi here is charging a heavy attack in her string, and there's like a red flash to that, and I don't recall that being there before. She's a character that has more than average chargeable, holdable attacks for, bigger hits, all that. So that's a good little visual cue. Also, the fact this attack specifically seems to be dash cancelable. I don't recall it being dash cancelable before, so that's a buff, that's cool. Her unique gameplay mechanic is many of her attacks can place tentacles on the ground, which attack of their own free will. And back when I was playing, those tentacles, they were much more placeholder graphics, let's put it that way. Looks much better now, as does that super. She definitely invokes the big body archetype in fighting games. Not so much in ways like super armor or anything, but very big hits. Now, here's something I want to tell you guys about, because this is one of the coolest things I found with the character in my time with her last year. So here we see a bit of a B&B combo, and she's going to go for her alternate level 1 super, where she places a bunch of gigantic tentacles on the ground. And these attack on their own like a set rhythm, right? If you get hit, it goes away, but if you catch the enemy doing anything, like trying to take their turn or whatever, and you're blocking or just not in the way, it'll absolutely hit them out of it, and you get a free combo. And important for team building aspects, my absolute favorite team I figured out in my time there was Illaoi Darius. Because, yes, with the tentacles attacking, it's very easy to set up all sorts of block strings, right? And block strings in and of themselves, they don't kill the enemy unless you happen to have Darius as your partner, because he can make blocking feel like a mistake. This is my footage from Evo of last year to show you what's up, right? So he can apply a debuff, and once that debuff's up, you take chip damage. Now look how much chip damage he's going to take for this entire sequence. And once again, he's blocking, he's doing the correct thing, right? And he's still going to eat a huge amount of chip damage because he has Darius's debuff on him. Now imagine how this works when you have 3 tentacles constantly slamming against you and you can do nothing about it, and it's basically all one true block string. Once again, it makes you feel like blocking was the wrong move to make. Even if you block, if you can get this setup off, the enemy is going to take a ridiculous amount of chip damage. So far be it from me to talk about like optimal teams and stuff a year before release or anything, but I will tell you that Darius Illaoi does work out pretty alright. Beating people up through chip damage is a pretty, big boy character trait to have, and Darius and Illaoi are the 2 biggest characters, so there you go. Another thing from this next sequence here, throws trigger tentacles to attack. Certain attacks trigger them, otherwise they remain passive. So seeing the back air throw into the tentacle, into the super, this is really cool. Also the super, oh my god, this looks so good. This is her big fancy cinematic super, right? When I played, this wasn't even incomplete. It just wasn't there. You just kind of like T-posed and then the damage happened. That was it, right? And now you see like the full wrath of Nagakaboros just like up against the Elder God himself. Very inspired and similar to how she works in League of Legends as well, as she can kind of like rip your soul out of your body. And that's sort of what's happening here. The spirit tentacles take you down to the other realm, and then you get this just fantastic shot. I like how the one eye is looking and the other eyes open kind of look upwards and to the side as well. Then this big nasty bite effect. Just everything looks so good. I don't know, I can't be critical about anything here. Just everything looks fantastic. And now let's enter some of the new stuff. So we see Illaoi go for a parry and go at full combo and all that kind of stuff. That's pretty cool. But there's some stuff that didn't exist when I was playing on the last build. So in case you're unaware how the game works, there's a bunch of buttons, right? Light, medium, heavy attacks. And there's 2 special attack buttons. For Illaoi specifically, one special attack button series plants or, forces the tentacles to come up. And the other special attack button series makes the tentacles attack. And now we got this guy here where she can just kind of, do a pose and the tentacle will attack by itself. Now, once again, when I played her last year, she was very much an incomplete character, right? And there was no move like this. And it's great, actually, because this is something that she would need, a way to keep pressure on you when she's not directly on top of you. As long as there's a tentacle near, she can challenge you on the screen some way, somehow. And as that gets to hit, we relaunch the character, go for combos, and we see it done again. And apparently this is also holdable. Tentacle does a bigger windup before it hits, so I'm assuming it's more advantage on block, and then you can do pressure and all that kind of stuff from it. Planting the tentacles is her reward, right? So you get to do some fun stuff with it. Another new thing that wasn't in the build I played is this. She has basically a pillar-style projectile that plants a tentacle. And as you can see here, if you hit the tentacle, tentacle goes away, which is fine. That's perfectly okay. But this is great because one of my takeaways from the character was her neutral was kind of really bad, honestly. But then again, obviously she was unfinished, and now she has all new moves which help alleviate those exact problems. But just really cool to see she has multiple ways to engage with you from further out. She does have bigger buttons than some of the other characters, yes, but this is a versus game, and things get crazy, so having that range definitely helps. Before, in the build I played, she could only ever make tentacles or attack with the tentacles if she made direct physical contact with the enemy. And considering her neutral wasn't great, that means a lot of times you just couldn't make tentacles. So happy for the positive changes for sure. Another new change they added too, as if I wasn't already sold on the character already, big body archetype, that's the Rooflemonger special, is they gave her a command grab. So just doing a bunch of block string pressure, right? And Yasuo is just sitting there. You notice that he gets grabbed. So using special 2 summons the tentacle and then does the new, pose move. And instead of the attack, this time it's just a straight grab. You can see Yasuo is blocking. He's down back in to save his life, right? But if you're too passive now, you get grabbed by the tentacle and then it's going to be a full combo. I was already sold before, but now I'm ready to put down the down payment. She's basically everything I could have possibly hoped for her to be. I like the character, I like the archetype, I'm a big fan of the Cthulhu mythos and Lovecraft stuff in general. Hell, even in the Ruined King League of Legends RPG game, she was my favorite character in that game. So seeing all these improvements, seeing the improved graphics, seeing all the new toys to play around with, like say the Last Stand assist. If you're unaware, Last Stand is like a super assist when your character is dead, but they can still help you. That wasn't in the build, at least her version of it wasn't in the build that we played. So now seeing it spawns multiple tentacles, that's really cool because you, as the other character, can still use tentacles. They can still help you out, right? So that'll be some very interesting setups and pressure and gimmicks and all that kind of stuff right there. I don't know, I'm just gushing basically because everything looks great. And the fact that they gave her command grab off everything else, just cherry on top of the cake. So I guess that's me talking about the Illaoi trailer and also from the perspective of someone who played her in a very unfinished state beforehand. And now seeing her finished, I'm basically jealous of everyone who gets to go to Evo Japan and get hands-on time with her. But that all said, all that gushing, I guess that's the video. Illaoi is pretty cool, y'all. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some 2XKO.